On today's show, I have someone who's been voted as the top 10 women leaders in wealth management in 2021, best financial institution for supporting startups in 2022, and global woman leader of 2023. She's Vandana Tolani. A very warm welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me here. I should be thanking you.
Interestingly, I've had quite a few VCs and angel investors on the show, but you are the first woman VC on Brainbox.
Right.
You've also been in the startup space from, if I can put it that way, from the last century, from 1999 to be precise. So when people were more bothered about Y2K than actually understanding anything about startups. So how has this entire industry transformed over the past about 25 years?
Back in 1999, when I started my journey, things were definitely more laid back. And the internet was still in its infancy. People were still exploring what is internet, etc. By then, the startup scene was like a tough thing to crack. It was an era of uncertainty. Startups were a bit of novelty, and internet was crawling compared to today's lightning fast speeds. And funding was harder to come by, and the dot-com bubble was about to burst. It was a time of experimentation, and we were all trying to figure out this brave new world. And fast forward to today, and the landscape has transformed completely. The tech industry has become a powerhouse, and internet has connected us all, making it easier to launch and scale a business globally. And we carry the internet in our pockets. This happened also because of COVID. I think everybody found a specialization of how to go digital. We shop online for everything, and social media has reshaped how we interact and connect, even do a business. The startups are the major player of the business world. And there's a startup for everything, from dog walking apps to fast grocery delivering apps. You can, with a few touch, you can order your favorite food. It's only now you can order food from different cities and shop from different countries. Everything seems to be more accessible nowadays. Now, funding is more accessible thanks to angel investors, VCs, and crowdfunding platforms. The startup ecosystem is global, and you can launch a business from your garage and reach customers on the other side of the world within hours.
You mentioned something very interesting around the global piece of it. So you were based out of Jakarta, Indonesia for nearly 15 years in the startup space. So how different is the startup world in India versus Southeast Asia in general?
There are pros and cons to everything. I was born and brought up in India, so my roots are from here. And then I moved there and stayed there for a long time. I can say they each have their unique flavors. India is a bustling hub with a huge market potential and rapidly growing startup ecosystem. Startup in Southeast Asia, on the other hand, offers diverse markets, each with its own opportunities and challenges. Southeast Asia, while diverse, consists of several smaller markets, with Indonesia being the largest and most populous in the region. Southeast Asia is known for its diverse cultures, languages, business practices. Each country has a unique culture that influence the local startup ecosystem. India is similarly diverse with multiple languages and regional variations that shape the startup landscape. While there is an overlap, there's also specific areas of focus. If you look at India, has seen success in IT services, e-commerce, fintech. The laws are more easier in Singapore than in Indonesia. And in India, the laws are more strict when it comes to cryptocurrency, blockchain. People do make holding companies in Singapore. Why? Because they want to get away with the tax problem. Similarly, people do create holding companies in Dubai. But now all that is changing. We have a gift city now. And if you register yourself, any VC, any startups, whoever want to register themselves in gift city, they can do all that what they have been doing from Singapore or Dubai. Now, in Southeast Asia, startups often leverage the region's proximity and similarities to expand across borders. Companies based in Singapore, for example, commonly expand to neighboring markets like Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand. And India, being a larger domestic market, often focus on capturing the Indian market first. But some startups look to expand to Southeast Asia and global markets.
Because I'm a founder as well. So for all the fellow founders, it'll be very interesting. Which comes first for you? Is it the horse, that is the founder itself, or is it the cart or the idea or the concept behind it?
So this is a very great question. For me, it's definitely the horse before the cart. Let me explain why. See, the ideas are a dime a dozen. And seriously, you can have the most brilliant idea in the world, but it's the founder, the person driving that idea, who can make or break a startup. Now, I have seen incredible ideas fall flat because the founders just couldn't execute them. On the flip side, I've seen founders with not so original ideas and turn them into gold because they had the passion, vision, and determination to make it work. Now, when I'm thinking about investing, investors want to bet on the jockey, not just the horse.
Right.
We look at the founder's track record, their experience, their ability to adapt, and their sheer grit. Are they resilient? Can they pivot when things don't go as planned? And do they have leadership skills to build a team and inspire others? That's the stuff that actually matters, because in the ever-changing world of startups, it's the founders who steers the ship. That being said, the idea still holds weight. It should be compelling, addressing an existing problem, or tapping into untapped market opportunity. It's important to evaluate whether the idea has a viable business model and potential for scalability. What happens is, in India, sometimes it becomes a trend. Like, wo startup kar raha hai, to hum bhi kar lenge. You know, like that person is doing, so we are just like, we are not being leaders, we are being followers. In the VC industry also, there's a herd mentality. Usne Zomato mein dala, to hum bhi dal denge. It's like that. Usne Nykaa mein dala, to hum bhi. So they are not being leaders, you see. Now, in the end, it's the synergy between a talented founder and a promising idea that takes the interest of an investor. It's about packing not only the concept, but also the individual who has the determination, resilience, and skills to transform that concept into a successful venture. I'll give you one example. I had a founder who had 2 successful startups. And then they started a cloud platform, which was just at idea stage. They got investments. Why? Because the founder's background was strong. Also, investments is based on how much relationship you've built with the VCs. So it's not essentially our financial capital. It's also our human capital.
And I think this was brilliantly put. I mean, so just to delve a little deeper, so if you have to identify just one trait in the founder without which you would not invest any of your money, what trait would that be?
Just that one trait that's absolutely essential for me to invest in any founder would be resilience. In unpredictable and often turbulent world of startups, things rarely go as planned. There are setbacks, failures, unexpected challenges at every turn. What separates the successful founder from the rest is their ability to bounce back, learn from their mistakes, and keep pushing forward. Resilience isn't just about enduring tough times. It's about thriving in the face of adversity. It's the unwavering determination to pursue your vision, even when the odds seem stacked against you. So if a founder doesn't have that resilience, it becomes incredibly tough to weather the storms that come with the building a startup.
So you're the CEO of Convanto for nearly a decade now. That's one of the most well-known boutique investment banks in India. And interestingly, obviously led by a female founder. So my wife herself was in the startup space. She had her own nail salon chain. And one of the biggest challenges that I saw that she used to face was that there just weren't enough women investors. So they would not understand the business. So obviously, most of the guys, you tell them about nails, is like, They have no idea how lucrative the industry or any such thing. So
Mhm.
in your mind, what do you think is really behind the rationale that there are not only few women entrepreneurs, but even few women VCs?
So I will just start with basics.
Mhm.
See, this pink and blue is made from home, right? Pink becomes for girls, blue becomes for boys.
Right.
Kitchen and doll becomes for girls, soccer and other stuff becomes for boys, right?
True.
Now, when we break this barrier from our home, when we treat the boy and girl as equal, and it is somehow put into conditioning that women cannot manage money and women cannot become entrepreneurs because they don't know how to manage things. Something like that, because they have house to manage, they have kids to manage. So this thing has to change. Now, I completely understand the challenge your wife faced. And it's a question that sometimes comes in my mind too. Gender gap in the venture capital is a real issue. I have seen women on the board of venture capital, and but the decision maker is their husband behind it. Now, if you're not letting the woman to decide for her own, then she will not be able to take things forward. Similarly, I have seen two women entrepreneurs. They would be very happy with everything we discussed in the meeting. They would go back, discuss everything with their husband, come up the next day with something different. They were so confused. They couldn't make their own decision. Now, first, there's a historical aspect. Venture capital has traditionally been male-dominated field, and breaking into that boys' club has been tough for women. It's one of those industries where networks and connections matter a lot, and women have had to work harder to establish themselves. Second, there's an issue of representation. When there are few female VCs to begin with, it can be discouraging for other women looking to enter the field. It's a self-perpetuating cycle. But there's a silver lining here. As more successful break through and become VCs, it paves the way for others. Lastly, the startup and VC world can be intense with long hours and high pressure situations. Some women may shy away from it because of these demands, especially they are juggling with family responsibilities. But here there's a good news. Things are changing. Now, there's a growing awareness of the need for diversity in VC, and more organizations are actively working to support and promote women in this field. So while there may be a few female VCs now, I'm hopeful that the landscape will continue to evolve and we'll see more and more women investors making their mark in the startup.
So you have connects with around 300 plus investors globally. So this
Yeah.
is a very different question. What are the three most important traits when it comes to actually raising money as a fund?
Raising money as a fund manager is no walk in the park. See, it's all about building trust, demonstrating your capability to handle others' money wisely based on the connections and experiences in the industry. There are some things that I would like to highlight, some more things. Credibility. Investors want to be sure that their money is in safe hands. Demonstrating a track record of success, either in managing funds or previous professional ventures, is crucial. Your credibility is often built on past achievement. So it's essential to highlight your wins and showcase that you've delivered returns in the past. And transparency. Investors appreciate transparency in fund management. You need to be open and honest about your fund strategy, risks, fees, avoid hidden costs or complex structures that can raise red flags. A transparent approach builds trust and helps investors to feel confident and they know what they are getting. Effective communication is the key. Keeping your investors well informed about the fund's performance, market updates, any change in strategy, being responsive to their inquiries and concerns are equally important. See, it is their hard-earned money which they're putting into this thing because they believe in it.
True.
Now, what is your goal as a founder? To honor that and show that you can multiply that.
Right.
So then that win-win thing comes out. And naturally, who will give you the money will always have an upper hand. Today, you have a kid, you give them 1,000 rupees. And after 2 days, again, if the kid says, I want another 1,000, you say, hey, what did you do with that? Right?
Correct. So what's your view on the funding winter? Is it like bright summer coming just around the corner, or is it still quite a while away?
I think it's on and off. It's like weather can be a bit unpredictable. Sometimes it's sunny and everyone's investing like there's no tomorrow. And other times it's a bit chiller and investors are more cautious. Now, we've seen these cycles in the startup world before, and they tend to just come and go. Now, about the bright summer, it's not too far away, but it might not be right around the corner either. Now, why I say this, some big ticket size are not happening so fast, but small ticket sizes are happening very fast because that's easy for every investor. Thus, even VC fund deals are taking time to crack. The startup ecosystem has this amazing ability to adapt and innovate, and that's what brings the sunshine. New ideas and technologies are always emerging, and investors are constantly on the lookout for the next big thing. But the world is full of surprises. Economic factors, global events, market trends, all these can influence the funding plan. Now, while I'm optimistic about the future, I'd like to advise startups to be prepared for a bit of rain and have a solid umbrella.
Nice.
And a well thought business plan just in case. And in the end, it's all part of the startup journey. So keep your eye on the horizon, stay innovative, and you will be ready. And don't just depend on the investors. Try to bootstrap as much as you can.
My final question would be, what is the best advice that you've ever received?
It's a tough one because I've been fortunate to learn from so many wise folks in my journey. But if I had to pick just one, be a lifelong learner. Now, the world is constantly evolving, especially in the fast-paced startup space. What worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. New opportunities are always emerging. So the best thing you can do is stay curious, keep seeking knowledge, and be open to change. I'll give you one example. When demonetization happened, many people didn't know how to use Google Pay, Paytm. Right? They were forced to use, and now every second person uses. You can even go anywhere without a wallet.
True.
Second, when COVID happened, what did COVID teach us? That everything can be done online. So every school was online, everything was online, and we learned how to use the online tools, which we were just making fun of before, like Zoom and all these.
I'm also guilty of this, by the way, because initially when we started on Zoom, so I'm a face-to-face kind of a guy. So I was like, I can't make out any of this. So I agree with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, like what happened? We used to do these VCTV shows. And suddenly from Zoom, someone decided to do it on StreamYard. And we all started talking and like, why should we do StreamYard? And Zoom was so much better. And I said, look, let's just learn it,
Right.
And then it came out to be more better than Zoom. It went live and everything. It had its own features. So I learned 10 different kinds of things similar to Zoom. So I was very happy that I'm learning new things every day. And learning isn't just about textbooks or classroom. It's about being inquisitive, asking questions, seeking out experiences that expand your horizons. It's about embracing failure as a chance to learn and grow. Now, in the dynamic world of startups, being a lifelong learner is having a superpower. It keeps you adaptable, innovative, progressive, proactive, and ready to tackle whatever challenges come your way. So remember, the learning journey never ends, and that's what keeps life exciting and full of possibilities. I'll give you one more example. Many people lost their jobs during COVID.
Right.
Now they came to me, they were big CFOs, CEOs, and like big, they were running big companies, but they had forgotten to use small tools. WhatsApp story, LinkedIn, website. These small tools only were helping everybody during
Correct.
COVID. They forgot how to go digital.
Mm.
So that's what I'm saying, that we need to be a lifelong learner. I will give you another. There are different kinds of schoolings that have come up. Yeah, there is CBSE, there is IB. Now, many people still don't understand what IB learner program is because they're not ready to break through that CBSE pattern, which they have been taught through years and years. Like I said, the difference between the girl and boy, it's a pattern that is going on and on. When we also break everything, something new opens up. And we just need to believe in ourselves. So
True.
This is the entire journey.
I think this was an absolutely wonderful note to end the chat on.
Yeah, I've launched my new company now. It's just started. It's called Avinya Angel Network. We are just building it up. So it's on the baby stage.
Is something that you focused on there?
No, we are sector agnostic. And we are just, we have onboarded a few investors already. We are just streamlining things because we just launched and then by next month, everything will kickstart. Those are for small ticket sizes because we found startups really struggling. Convanto's ticket sizes 1 million to 100 million. Now below that, it will be catered in.
And that's when you can actually come in from the beginning itself and help, because founders need a lot of mentoring. So
a lot at all stages. Yeah.
True. Wonderful. Wishing you the very best for Avinya as well. I'm sure you will take it to great heights.
Thank you so much, and it was a pleasure speaking with you, and good luck for to your bike. Please.